The Breakfast Today is made possible by CFSB. For over 130 years, team members at CFSB have been committed to adding value in the lives of clients in Marshall County. CFSB takes pride in intentionally pouring into the people, education, and businesses of our community for not only financial needs, but through service to others and leadership in a wide range of roles countywide. They believe it is of utmost importance that Marshall County is strengthened through the support of small business. Special thanks to CFSB for making this happen today. Visit their website, yourlifeyourbank.com, to find out how they can serve you and your business.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Kentucky Lake Chamber Breakfast Club. Throughout this past year, it's been a pretty wild ride, and we haven't been able to have our breakfasts that we normally have. And those breakfasts are great opportunities for our business leaders to kind of learn some great information. So what we wanted to do is kind of get back into the swing of things, so we can have our local business leaders learning some great information that they can take back to their workplaces. Today we have Crystal Tosh with Rockstar Social Media. We also have Nathan Brandon with Studio 270, and they are both over here in Calvert City, Kentucky. And while we're in Calvert, we have a great guest today also. We have Blair Travis. She's the basically do everything over here at Calvert City. She's got some great things going on over here with their sesquicentennial. So we look forward to sharing that with you. And we also want to thank today's sponsor, CFSB. They've made this possible so that we could get back into breakfast. We look forward to sharing more with you today. To start us off today, we have Crystal Tosh from Rockstar Social Media. She's kind of going to go into some marketing tips that local businesses and local business leaders can look to.
All right, guys, so social media, that's what I do. Here's the deal. You need a business Facebook page. Let's make sure that we start there. And what does your business Facebook page need to have? Let's have the hours that you're open. In that little box that says website, if you don't have a website, don't list one. That's important. We don't want to have broken links on our Facebook page. And then we want to have a phone number. And if you're a restaurant, I encourage you to take a picture of your menu and post that in your albums, because it's something that we're seeing a lot of around here is a restaurant doesn't have any way for us to know what to order. So especially during COVID and people are limited in going out, you want to have that available. So just take a picture, make it easy. We don't have to overcomplicate it, and post that. Also post your daily specials, and just really try to interact with everybody online, because we want to build a relationship with the community. So don't worry about being cookie cutter and having fancy graphics. Just be a real person, show some back end pictures that you have. Do whatever you can to really build that engagement.
And Crystal, what you mentioned about posting, I know a lot of businesses kind of struggle figuring out what to post on Facebook. Do you have some tips on kind of how they can get some content going and kind of start reaching a different audience?
Yeah, absolutely. So don't overcomplicate it. What I always tell my clients is to pick a theme for the month. So if you're a restaurant, maybe you guys are focusing on just why you have a restaurant, what you're cooking there, why you got into it. Kind of tell a story. Imagine your social media as a way to tell story. So if you're a product or service-based industry, you can highlight products through the week, and don't just post a picture and say this is a product that we have. Talk about how you would use that product and ways that you can implement it in your life. Maybe tell a story about how you've used it or something like that. But nobody really cares if it's National Dog Day. That seems to be like some of those social media calendars that you buy for $27, they say to post on these certain days, but you've got to really think about what you're selling and what your community wants to hear from you, not those generic type of posts. So really get in and think about your business and what you can do to share and build that relationship.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of our business owners, they've got a lot on their plate already and kind of struggle to make the time to make these posts. Can you kind of go into like the tools, like publishing tools, where you can schedule some of those posts and how you can do that in advance?
Absolutely. So you don't even have to buy a special tool anymore. You can just use Facebook Scheduler, and you can schedule those posts out. I say if you have 3 posts a week, you're doing pretty well. So if you could schedule 3 posts in the back end of the publisher, so if you go into Facebook on your business page, you can schedule that post. And if you have an Instagram, you can now tie those 2 together and it will auto-publish to both. So that takes a huge burden off of you. I just want to encourage people to not overcomplicate social media. It's a huge part of your business, and I know that you're busy business owners, and there are ways, like Mitchell said, that we can schedule things, and even if you just need some help coming up with ideas, I encourage you to contact me and my team, and we can always do one-off things where we just help business owners get going on the right track, because if you can kind of get a hold of it, you can really bring in a lot of business. And something else I want to say is think about tourists when they come to the area. They actually do a lot of their research on where they're going to go and spend their time based on social media. So you want to have that presence so that when people are asking on Facebook, like, where should I go and, near Kentucky Lake, your business can be tagged. And that's how people learn about all these different things to do. So definitely just have something. And if you can get 3 posts a week, you're doing good.
And for our business leaders that are listening that are part of a bigger company, what is the importance of having your Facebook page and your other social media platforms reflect you as a professional?
Oh, I think it's absolutely important. I always say that no matter what you do, your social footprint is important. So if you are an employee of a bigger company, what you put out on your personal feeds matter. And if you are tying them together, as I say, blurring the lines, people like to do business with who they know, like, and trust. So you definitely want to be who you are as a person on social media, because that's how you build relationships. And maybe you work for an excavating company, and while a person doesn't know the excavating company you work for, they know you, and they're going to come to you and work with that business because of the relationships you're building.
Awesome. And for those that are looking to begin their social media strategy for their business, Crystal is a great resource over here in Calvert City. So if you're looking to get started and want to contact Crystal, what's the best way to do that?
Through social media, probably. Just look me up on Facebook. I'm Crystal Tosh, and our business is Rockstar Social Media. We also have a website, and Nathan's working on a new one for me. And you can always just find my phone number. It's listed on the Facebook page. I'm always available by text or whatever way you want to contact me.
Awesome. All right, so thank you, Crystal, for those awesome tips that can really help our local business owners. For our next speaker, we have Nathan Brandon, and he's with Studio 270, also here in Calvert City. He's a great resource as well for businesses that are looking to develop a brand, as well as for local business leaders that also want to have a personal branding tips as well. So I just want to lead into Nathan, just kind of some tips that you have for local businesses that are looking to get into a brand and don't necessarily know where to start.
So the first thing to do would be to be sure that you have that online presence. Whether it's going through her with the social media or whether it's coming through me, and being sure that you have a proper website in place. And I say proper, very straightforward, because there's a lot of websites out there that either they're broken on the mobile side of it, or there's broken links, which we find constantly, and you would be amazed on how many broken links are out there. And Blair had mentioned it just a few minutes ago. There is another point to that on the web setup, being sure that you have that Google listing, because the first place that people most of the time find you are on that Google. If you don't have a Google listing, well, the very top portion of Google is always the people who apply for those Google listings. So you want to be able to populate into that search engine area. The second part to that with the Google side of it is being sure you have proper SEO set up for your website, the search engine optimization. A lot of times people just simply go in there, especially if they're doing it themselves. They want to say, if it was a spa, Calvert City Spa, well, how many spas are in the area? So you've got to look at how competitive some of those keywords are. So it's very important to have the proper keywords set up on that Google side as well. You can use Google Ads, the AdWords populate at the top, but Google is your friend in this instance. You want to be sure that you have the proper information, the correct information out there to populate onto Google. The next step would be to just have a website that like I said, I had mentioned the mobile side of it. You want to be sure that it is mobile friendly. I mean, most people these days are looking at your website on a mobile device. It's very few that anymore look at it on a desktop. If it's a desktop, it's most of the time a laptop, somebody at home, or they're sitting at work looking. But for about 85% of the time, it's always on that phone. So we want to be sure that you have the proper mobile side set up as well. And then the next portion to that would be, I always say use a lot of videos on your website. And that's because their attention span, more or less, is very short. So they don't like to read anymore. So to keep the retention on your website, we always post videos, whether that's a header video just with no audio that just plays up at the very top, or whether that is on your about page that has a nice ring to it, a brand history piece more or less. People tend to watch those videos longer, especially if you host those videos on YouTube. Google owns YouTube, so guess what pops up first on Google? Get back to Google again. We want to be sure that we keep those people on your website as long as possible so that they are more likely to go to the next page and have a lower bounce rate, and we do that through using a lot of videos.
What does a bounce rate mean?
It means that I went to your page and went back. So if I go to Google, and I type in Calvert City, Kentucky, and it pops up, and whatever the first page that pops up, whether it's your home page, your about page, or a contact page, I go there and then I go right back. I just click the back button. We don't go forward. So we don't want that. High bounce rates are very bad because they didn't retain any information from your website. So we want to be sure that they're getting the information they need and your website's doing its job.
And you mentioned a lot of great stuff about improving your website as well as getting the Google listing and having video on there. For someone that's not tech savvy like myself, and that's kind of a frightening thing. Like, what can your business kind of do in terms of that?
So as far as the content side of it, that's something that we spend a majority of our time doing. So video content and photography, commercial photography content, whether that's headshots or product shots, or like I had mentioned, the about videos, the brand history videos, all the way down into the TV commercials, which kind of folds right into it. We can come in, create the video content and the photography for those websites for her social media usage. We go in, we've got several packages, whether it's, like I mentioned, the TV ad, or whether you wanted to do a 2-minute branding piece, or a kind of sit down like this and do more of a podcast style. There's several different ways to do that. But as far as getting the content to post, we can create that.
And to kind of break the third wall here, these cameras that are set up in front of us are from Nathan, and we were looking to do that kind of video content. So for a business that's looking to kind of branch out and get some new platforms, working with Nathan is great, and we're lucky to have him involved with our chamber now. So thank you to Nathan for helping make this happen. And these cameras are working themselves behind him. So
I'm not used to this side of it.
So what's the easiest way to get in contact with you for a business looking to get some help?
So it'd be either, you can go to my website, which is studio-270.com, or you can send me an email. It's nathan@studio-270.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that. And for any business looking to work on their branding or just get some new content out there, Nathan's a great resource. All right, and to finish us off today as our final speaker, we have Blair Travis with the City of Calvert, and I've been practicing off screen because I knew I was going to have to say this. She's planning the sesquicentennial for Calvert City, so hopefully I said that okay. But
You nailed it. Now I want to hear Crystal and Nathan say it.
Sesquicentennial.
Ooh, see?
Yeah.
Sesquicentennial.
Bravo, guys. Good job. Yeah. Thanks to Bobby Faust for teaching me how to say that. I think everybody learned from me, and Bobby Faust is the one that taught me. So, but first off, I wanted just to say thank you, and also just applause for how lucky I am to be across the street from Nathan and Crystal. And you too, Mitchell. I appreciate you, but you're not across the street. But just having them across the street in Calvert City is so, so nice. Anytime I have questions or need a little help, which happens to be a lot, they just come right over and help me out, and I greatly appreciate it.
We love collaborating with you. It's all about collaborating. I've never understood the whole competing thing, with people in the same industry. We can all
Yep.
help each other.
It
so.
is true, and they're helping me with the sesquicentennial. It's an exciting time for Calvert City. We're celebrating our 150th year as a incorporated city, and with that, we want to celebrate all of our change makers and the residents that live in Calvert City, also just the businesses too, because they are the ones that had the grit and determination to get Calvert to where it is today. And so, it's just a time to celebrate and, think about where we were 150 years ago, and now look at where we've come to. So
Awesome. So I know part of your role in the sesquicentennial, you mentioned a lot of events. And so part of our chamber breakfast, we kind of wanted to give the community an idea of some of the events that are going on. So can you kind of highlight some of the awesome events you guys have planned for the rest of the year?
absolutely. We have 150 events celebrating 150 years. Technically 158, but who's counting? We, just starting from the beginning, we started in February with our events, and the main event, though, will be in July, that first week in July. We were lucky to get a sponsorship right off the bat with Jackson Purchase and West Kentucky Rural Electric. And they donated hand sanitizer and hand sanitizing stations. So anywhere you turn in the event, there's going to be places where you can hand sanitize, and also they're going to be providing masks. So the safety of the event just really started off at a high note, and that's really exciting for us because we want people to attend the event. We want people to be safe and feel safe while they're at our events. So everything that we plan has your all safety in the forefront. One of the events that we have coming up that I'm most excited about is the beard contest. Nathan is really growing his out. He says he doesn't think he can do it, but I'm gonna make him do it. He's got to keep that beard. It's going. It's going. And Mitchell's got one going too. So 50 years ago, they had a beard contest at the Centennial, and a lot of men grew beards that didn't have beards. And a lot of them grew beards that was the only time that they had a beard. So a lot of the people that I've been interviewing and talking to have really been, that was a fond memory, was the beard contest. So we're bringing that back along with the fiddle contest. We're bringing that back too. Lots of fun things though. Coming up, we have Kites Over Calvert, which is the beginning of May, and back by popular demand, Food Truck Friday, which starts in May too. So lots of fun events coming up.
And for those that maybe don't have a pen or paper in front of them, what's the easiest way to kind of get a schedule of those events? Is that whether your Facebook page or other places?
Yeah, you can go on Calvert's website, or we do have a special website just for the 150, and that's 150calvertcity.com. And then you can go on our Facebook page. We have all of the events listed there too.
And I might be spoiling it a little bit, but you were working on a documentary for the summer as well. Is that?
Well, it started out as a mini documentary. Many. And after many hours of interviewing, and thanks to Nathan for letting us borrow all of his equipment and teaching me how to do things that I didn't know how to do before, I'd say we're probably at about 30 hours right now. So there's going to be a lot of editing, but man, the stories that have come out of that documentary, or just the interviews, pretty fascinating. Like, did you know that Calvert City, in the 50s, there was a meteorite that hit in Calvert City? Did not know that. People from all over the world came to dig and do research on it.
Did you find out
know.
where that meteorite is now?
Where can we go dig?
No, I haven't found out where it's at. No, I know. I need to look it up.
What has been the, I guess, strangest fun fact, like the meteorite that you found in all these stories?
I don't know about, that was pretty weird. I don't know.
You just have to talk to Bobby.
I was gonna say Bobby Faust stories.
Bobby Faust is amazing.
That day I got no work done because I just listened.
Seriously, she helped plan the centennial, and she was 37 years old. I'm 37. I'm planning the sesquicentennial, and whoever is going to plan it 50 years from now is going to be screwed because I am not. My memory is I can barely remember what I wore yesterday, so I just cannot imagine. But she has been such a big help, and one thing I didn't know. There was a sorghum mill on 62 that was pulled by horses, and they just walked around in a circle and ran a sorghum mill. And people came from all over the world. People came from Canada. They shipped it to London, England. Had no clue any of that happened. I learned that from Wayne Peck. Yes. Now, I do have a funny story about a Landers that got pulled over by the police wearing a moon pie box on his head. Lots of funny stories. I can't wait to share it with you. And Nathan and I have got lots of editing to do, but it's really going to be it's a neat project. If anything, I've learned a lot about Calvert City that I did not know.
Well, it's a great thing you all have going on this summer, and there's plenty of stuff for everyone, and they've been great about planning events for every interest possible. So if you haven't yet, make sure to check out Calvert City's page to see what's going on this summer, and just stop by for some of these events. It's great to hear these stories, and it's great to be a part of that history too, because when they're planning the next one, then you can say you were part of that. So great stuff going on over here in Calvert.
Yes, I need volunteers, and I also need sponsorships. Wink, wink. But volunteers are really important. Really important.
Awesome. All right, so thank you all for some great advice here, and we look forward to sharing that with our business leaders and local businesses. And if you ever have any questions, please reach out to these guys. They've got some great advice, and their businesses are really helpful for a business that's looking to really grow and expand in this market. So quickly, I'm going to go over some updates for the Chamber because it's been a really exciting time for our Chamber. I think about 6 months ago I got here, so it's been a pretty wild 6 months here, but we've got a lot of exciting things going on. First of which, we moved locations. We moved from our old building that was by the CFSB branch in Draftonville. We just went across the road. We're in an office space over at the Kentucky Lake Tourism office. So I'm getting to work more with Elena Blevins over there. And it's great to have some extra collaboration because we both got a lot of great ideas of how we can help the community. So if you haven't stopped by, that's 93 Carroll Road. The address is Benton, Kentucky, but it's located in front of the North Marshall Water District, as well as by the Off the Hoof over there. So if you haven't stopped by, make sure to. I'd be happy to meet with anyone and enjoy the company. As well, we have a lot of new members right now. Last year, I think we had roughly 15 to 20. I think this last week I might have done 7 posts for new members. So it's pretty wild. And I don't want to forget everyone, but we've got Trueline Builder, Lauren Searles with Marshall County Farm Bureau Insurance, Andrews Excavating, Monitoring and Controlled Solutions, Barry Whitaker, and just Friday, Boss Hogs Bar and Grill. They just joined, which is perfect, just in time for March Madness. So if you're looking for a great excuse to get out of the house and not watch the Kentucky Wildcats, just go to, I'm sorry if that offended anyone, just go down to Boss Hogs. That's a great spot to go. And I know Crystal also joined recently, as well as Nathan, but that's been another wave of members, and we might be here all day. So thank you all for joining. But you can keep up with all these new members by going to our Facebook page, which is Kentucky Lake Chamber, as well as our weekly newsletter. Since I've got here, I've tried to send out a newsletter each week. And you can subscribe to that by going to our website, marshallcounty.net, and there's a spot there to sign up for our newsletter. And in that, we'll feature what's going on in the Chamber, just kind of some good news and updates. But another thing we've been doing is every week we do a Women in Business Wednesday, and that features a different leader in different fields throughout throughout Marshall County. And two of our guests have actually been featured on there, and we're very, very good at that, and some great stories that we love telling on there. But you can find those on our Facebook page as well as that newsletter. So if you haven't followed us or subscribed to that newsletter, I would really encourage you to do so because we've got a lot of great stuff going on there. And lastly, we also welcome some new board members to our chamber board. We have Stephanie Donahue with Searles & Associates, Tammy Blackwell with the Marshall County Library, Vicki Wynn with the UK Extension Office, and Nathan Brandon with Studio 270. So we just can't get rid of him over here. He's just everywhere. But we're really excited for that group. We've always got a great group of leaders that are looking out for our business community. And we've only had 3 meetings together this year, and it's been wonderful working with them. They're really excited for some new ideas, and we'll be releasing more of that in the coming weeks. But it's really great to work with these excited and passionate people that really want to grow our chamber, but also grow our business community and Marshall County as a whole. So thank you to them, and if you haven't got to congratulate them or reach out, make sure to do so. But other than that, to end us, we'd like to give a special thanks to CFSB for making this happen. We wanted to be able to give this out to our local business leaders, and because of their support, we were able to make that happen. So if you haven't yet, check out their website, yourlifeyourbank.com, or also stop by at one of their locations to meet with their great staff over there. They're very welcoming and love to sit down and talk with you. So other than that, I think that wraps us up. Our breakfast club of sorts, the first one, and we hope you really enjoyed this video. And if you enjoyed it, share it with your business leaders. Just show them some of the advice that you learned today so we can help everyone overall. So have a great rest of your weekend. We look forward to talking with you.
Is it the weekend?
It'll come out on Friday.
That was good man. I was like,
No, I was
I'm already looking forward to the weekend.